Hi, this is Yuri Singidas, an aspiring historian. The question is, did Jesus really speak in Hebrew, or was it in Aramaic? Let us examine the history of Hebrew, Aramaic, and Latin in the course of the development of Christianity over the millennia. In September 2014, the world witnessed a fascinating exchange between two prominent leaders. Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church, corrected Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on a point of history. Netanyahu had claimed that Jesus spoke Hebrew. The Pope gently pointed out that Jesus spoke Aramaic. This incident sparked global curiosity about the languages spoken during Jesus' time. It highlighted the importance of accuracy when discussing historical figures and their cultural context. The exchange between the Pope and the Prime Minister wasn't meant to be a theological debate. Instead, it served as a reminder that even seemingly small details can have significant implications. Understanding the languages spoken in ancient Judea is crucial for comprehending the life and teachings of Jesus. It provides valuable insights into the cultural and historical backdrop of early Christianity. The incident also brought to light the common misconception that Jesus spoke Hebrew. While Hebrew held a sacred place as the language of the Old Testament, it was not the common language of the people in 1st century Judea. Aramaic, a closely related Semitic language, had become the lingua franca of the region. This linguistic shift had occurred centuries earlier, following the Babylonian exile. The Jewish people, having been displaced from their homeland, returned to Judea speaking Aramaic. Hebrew, though still revered, had become primarily a liturgical language used in religious contexts. Jesus, born and raised in Galilee, would have spoken Aramaic as his native tongue. This is the language in which he would have interacted with his family, friends, and followers. The Gospels, while written in Greek, contain traces of Aramaic. This suggests that some of Jesus' original sayings and teachings were preserved in the language he actually spoke. Imagine Jesus delivering the Sermon on the Mount, his words resonating with the crowd in their everyday language, Aramaic. Picture him using common Aramaic expressions and idioms, making his message relatable and accessible to the ordinary people. The use of Aramaic adds a layer of authenticity to our understanding of Jesus and his teachings. While Aramaic was the dominant language, Hebrew still held a prominent place in Jewish society. It was the language of scripture, prayer, and religious scholarship. Jesus, as a devout Jew, would have been familiar with Hebrew. He likely used it when reading from the Torah in the synagogue, or engaging in theological discussions with religious leaders. Greek, the widely spoken language of the Roman Empire, was also present in Judea. It served as a language of commerce, administration, and communication with the Roman authorities. While Jesus may not have been fluent in Greek, he likely had some exposure to it. This was especially true in urban areas like Jerusalem, where Greek was more widely spoken. Millennia after Jesus' time, Hebrew experienced a remarkable revival. What was once considered a dead language, confined to religious texts, was brought back to life as a modern, spoken language, like a miracle. This linguistic resurrection is closely tied to the Zionist movement and the establishment of the State of Israel. Before the revival of Hebrew, the Jews speak different languages. The Ashkenazi Jews of Central and Eastern Europe speak Yiddish. The Sephardic Jews of Spain speak Ladino. The Romaniota Jews of Greece and Turkey speak Yevonic. Aramaic continued to be used by some in Israel and by the Jews of Iraq and Syria, as well as Kurdish Jews. Eliezer ben Yehuda, a Lithuanian Jew who immigrated to Palestine in the late 19th century, is credited as the father of modern Hebrew. He envisioned Hebrew as a unifying force for the Jewish people. He believed that reviving the language of their ancestors was essential for creating a shared national identity. Ben Yehuda's efforts were met with resistance from some quarters. Critics argued that Hebrew was too archaic and impractical for everyday use. However, Ben Yehuda persevered, raising his son, Ben Zion, as the first native speaker of modern Hebrew in millennia. He also compiled the first modern Hebrew dictionary, laying the groundwork for the language's revival. Today, Hebrew thrives as one of the two official languages of Israel, alongside Arabic. It is spoken by millions of people, used in government, education, media, and everyday life. The revival of Hebrew is a testament to the power of language to connect people to their heritage and forge a shared future. While the historical Jesus did not speak Latin, the language would go on to play a significant role in the development of Christianity. Latin rose to prominence as the language of the Romans, and as Christianity spread throughout the Roman world, Latin became the language of the Church. The Latin Vulgate, a 4th century translation of the Bible by St. Jerome, became the standard Bible for the Western Church for over a millennium. Latin was also the language of liturgy, theology, and church administration. It served as a unifying force for the Church, transcending national and linguistic boundaries. The use of Latin in the Church had a profound impact on Western culture. It influenced the development of literature, philosophy, law, and science. Latin words and phrases became ingrained in many European languages. Let us not forget that Latin is the mother tongue of so-called Romance languages. Spanish, Portuguese, French, Italian, and Romanian are among the major ones. There are also minor Romance languages like Catalan, Galician, and Sicilian. They all evolved from Vulgar Latin, the everyday spoken form of Latin used by common people in the Roman Empire. Even today, Latin continues to be used in some religious contexts, academic circles, and legal terminology. The misconception that Jesus spoke Latin likely stems from the Church's long association with the language. For centuries, Latin was the language of worship, scholarship, and religious authority. This led some to assume that it was also the language of Jesus and the early Christians. However, as we have seen, the historical Jesus lived in a predominantly Aramaic-speaking world. Again, this is Yuri Singadas. I hope you find this video informative and a good use of your time. Thank you.